In a bid to bypass steep U.S. tariffs, Indian businesses are turning to Africa as a production hub for exports to the U.S. The U.S. has imposed 50% tariffs on Indian goods, affecting sectors like automobiles and pharmaceuticals. African countries like Ethiopia, Nigeria, Botswana, and Morocco are offering attractive incentives, including tax holidays, customs duty, and VAT exceptions. These are meant to attract investments, particularly from manufacturers. Africa Business Insider quotes a manufacturer statement that underscores Africa's growing appeal as a manufacturing destination driven by favorable trade terms and investment opportunities. To unpack this, I am joined by Dr. Femi Egbesola. He's the President, Association of Small Business Owners of Nigeria, ASBON. Thank you, Doctor, for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
All right. I mean, while I was reading that intro, there is a place that talks about, Africa emerging as, that attractive destination. Do you really see it as that?
Your voice was breaking.
Okay, Dr. Shola, can you hear me now? I was asking what you make of this. Do you think Africa really has, that opportunity to offer to India?
Yeah, you're right. You are asking if I agree with you that it is me. All right. So I did say, it's an opportunity for Africa, and at the same time, it goes with its number of challenges. It's a good news that Africa is becoming the global manufacturing hub, and it is being recognized as that. And this will go with a lot of benefit for us. For example, it will bring about job creation, particularly for our teeming young African population. And at the same time, too, it will lead to technology and skill transfers for us. These advanced manufacturing companies will come with a lot of knowledge, a lot of skills, and we believe that it will rub off on our manufacturers here and those in the value chain. It will also help to increase our tax revenue, particularly in Africa now that these companies from India and the rest are looking at coming in here. Also, too, it will help to boost our exports, because when those things are manufactured here, it is likely that they will still go back to US or some other countries, which will definitely increase our exports. I also see it that it is also going to boost our FX, because now more FX will come into the country and it will stabilize our FX. And more importantly, it will improve our industrialization, which is very, very key, at this time. These are some of the benefits, but it also comes with its risk. One of the risks is that it is possible that if we do not tighten our policy, some of these countries, India, may turn us to just a backdoor to the US, such that when tension is, they can begin to return back to their different countries and dump Africa. It will also mean that if we are not careful with our policies, these firms will begin to import all their input into Africa, just turn Africa into their assembly plant, and eventually repatriate their profit back to their motherland, which will not be good for us. One of the key things that is attracting them to Africa is cheap labor. They may begin also to see Africa as where they can get cheap labor. And of course, if we do not put the right policies in place, it may lead to child labor exploitation to our people in Africa. And very importantly to me too, it can also lead to overcrowding SMEs. These big firms, these foreign firms that are bigger than those we have locally, can begin to overshadow local small manufacturers, and that will not be good for us. So it means that the government in Africa must ensure that they insist on local content, they insist on technology sharing when these companies come, and they also insist on fair labor standards, and that's what will protect us.
It's interesting. I mean, I like what you said, mentioning the exploitation, because it's something we currently see. And I know there are some countries that, I don't want to mention names now, but, once you mention a particular country, there is that cynicism and all of those things. But away from that, you talked about policies and all of those things. But let's talk specifically about Nigeria. Is Nigeria policy ready for this?
To some extent, yes, but to a larger extent, no. No, in the sense that when you are bringing in more manufacturing companies, you must have stable power supply. You will agree with me that at the moment, our power is not yet stable enough. We also need to bring about better infrastructure. Our road is not in good position at this point in time. There will also be more activities in the port. Even as at the moment, our ports are congested. A lot of times are wasted in the port. Our port is not really ready for this. We do not also have enough free trade zones. When you have this kind of manufacturing outfits coming to Africa, particularly to Nigeria, we should be able to support them with enough free trade zones and even export zones, so that immediately they get their products done, they can begin to export. And this free trade zone will provide them very good incentives that will put us better in a chance beyond other African countries that may also be lobbying to have them come. It's also important for us to ensure ease of doing business. If you look at our ease of doing business at the moment, it's not too good. We need a situation whereby they will have fast approval for whatever they need. They will have reduced bureaucracy and be able to also predict policies, because policy most times are not stable here. Again, too, there's need for us to be able to ensure that government enforces policy that would dictate local sourcing of requirements. All these local materials they need must be sourced locally, and this can be done by partnering with SMEs who are already in that value chain. And government too must be able to provide for them the kind of skills that this workforce will need to work with these companies, these manufacturing companies. It means then that we need to begin to strengthen our team so that the skills they are being taught in those schools, technical centers.
Dr. Femi Egbesola, I guess that's the network playing another one on us. But I think to a very large extent, you've made the point talking about how this is good move, but of course there are other things we need to look at, and that is exploitation. And, you know, some of the things in that regard that the Nigerian government or you know, all the other African countries also have to consider, and all of those things. And on the other hand, we also have other things we need to fix. So thank you so much for coming on the show today. All right, and this is our offering for today on Business Edge. Many thanks for watching. I am Perpetua Fasumi Peter. Do enjoy the rest of the day. Bye for now.